Alright, so this is David with DeMarco Gaming, and I just want to go over engine selection today. There are several engines out there, all have different abilities and designs. They all are going to have different cuts of how much you actually have to pay the company for everything you sell as part of the contract you get into. So while everybody wants to kind of jump into games and apps, it really does matter where you start and kind of how you design it. For instance, like this one in the background says ominous deception and development. That's the game that I'm trying to create. It's an 8-bit RPG, and over on my website, you can kind of see some images of the 8-bit aspect of it, and choice selection and stuff like that. All of that has to be programmed in. So a lot of the engines, you get a blank slate, and then you have to actually design each and every piece. So for the first one I'm going to show you is actually going to be RPG Maker. So this one is the easiest one to jump into. It is a way of making an 8-bit RPG. You have to design the story, you have to design the world maps and the maps of the dungeons and the enemies that you want to fight. And so there's still a lot of design aspect, but a lot of the coding is already done for you. So if you're somebody who doesn't have a huge knowledge base on how to script or program or anything like that, this is probably going to be the easiest way of jumping in, kind of getting your feet wet on how to design a game. So you'll be able to download plugins and stuff that people have online on their own websites or on different websites that might sell scripts. And these different scripts will actually help to benefit your game by creating a party system or a quest system, things that you don't actually have to sit there for hours and hours and hours. So if you are a single programmer or a single developer or a single artist, this will help you a lot. So once you start developing on this, like I said, there's plugins all over the place that you can get a hold of, and then you go in and you actually set up your classes. You tell them what your hit points are. It looks like kind of like a D&D setup. So you tell them what weapons they can equip and what their by a name they're basically saying what is their job class and stuff like that. You can select skills and give certain skills to people. They can earn skills throughout the game and activate them accordingly. Items, weapons, armors, enemies. So all of this is all just drop down stuff that you can change, and you can change how much damage and how much health and what if they poison you and all that kind of stuff. And it's not a scripting issue. All you have to do is literally change the numbers. It's all built into the engine or into the individual plugins that you download. So RPG Maker is a good one to kind of jump into. Now, the next two are the most common for app development and game development. So Unity, all right, Unity is kind of going to be more of a coding engine. So when you're programming and you're having to script JavaScript and stuff like that, that's going to be this game here. You've got a bunch of scripts you're going to have to create. Here's a bunch in C sharp, and once you create them, it's all programming code. You have to do all this programming code. So um, if you're not comfortable with it, then it's probably not going to be the engine that you want to go with. But this is a very good engine for app development. Now, as far as game development, it does do well with game development. I prefer game development through apps on this. So if you're making a big triple play open world and all that kind of triple A open world, I would use a different engine personally. This one, like I said, you have to script a lot of your own stuff, and when it comes to sorry, when it actually comes to uh, kind of getting it all together, it's a lot of work. I don't know why that won't go away. Um, it's a lot of work, and so doing something just as easy as this stupid piddly little game that I was playing with that is actually done through ZenVidya. Um, it's a good math game that you kind of can test out, and it's just app related. So you can get knocked down and die and all that kind of stuff if you're not getting the right answer. Okay, and it's time based, so the game's over after the time expires. So, these are things that you can develop for classrooms to teach kids math, science, this kind of thing. And these are really good for that. And you still have a good operating system that'll help you kind of create this visual representation of the project that you want to create. But just keep in mind that you are going to have to script a lot. You don't have to do the engine development, which is what you would have to do if you were coding in like something like C++ and designing your own engine, and then having to build on top of that. This is already Unity is already a built engine, and then you're basically scripting, which is changing the engine code that is built into the engine. Um, so that's Unity. And then the last one I'm really going to talk about is going to be Unreal. This one is going to be the most popular as far as this is supremely easy to design a game by yourself, especially if you're an artist, because as an artist you can design your own art, you can design your own animations and stuff like that in like either Blender or similar projects, and then you can or programs. Then you can put those into your project, and you can design your own game around it. And so it's actually extremely easy to use this, as you can script on your own if you feel comfortable in programming and scripting. However, Unity, while that is heavily scripted, but without all the positives that you're going to get in Unreal. Unreal has blueprints, and this is actually a really important thing. So when you're using a blueprint, you can actually go in and just select different components. So here's the scene component, and it'll have different things that you can select through. Sorry, I'm kind of nasally right now. I'm trying to get over a cold or something. And these are all different things that you can create a blueprint class with. And so these are all like different folders that I already have and stuff like that. But your blueprints are all right here. So if you create a blueprint and then you double click on this blueprint, it'll load up the actual blueprint itself. Okay, so you have a character here, and then what happens is here's your movement input, and you tell it exactly how this works. And so you draw these lines, and you tell it target self, which is the actual model here, and how the world direction goes. So when the character moves, does he move across the y-axis or the x-axis? Okay, so when you have that kind of setup, then what happens is that anybody who is editing your scripts, or in this case what your script is a blueprint, and you don't have to know any code. This is all code, but you're not doing any of that. All you're doing is telling it if you want the character to be floaty, So do they jump really high when you press the space bar, or do they have more of a realistic gravity, in which case when you press the space bar, they only slightly come off the ground? Um, so these are all things that you do through your blueprints, okay? And these make it very easy to actually code. I should say design, not code, but design a game that you can actually play. So if I click play here, okay, I can actually move this character from side to side. And these are templates that come with the system, and you can just put different materials on it and create your own world. I did not program any of this. This is all simply part of the initial Unreal side-scrolling template that you can see in the background. It's right on the wall. So once you get that down, then you can actually go in and you add, different objects and stuff that will collide with the character. And so those geometries, you can put in light sources like sconces on the wall, and get kind of a different feel if you're trying to make like a horror game, or if you're trying to make an outdoor game where you put up a sun and you want it to cast shadows in the woods and stuff like that. That's all doable in here just by simply drag and dropping different things in here. So this is Unreal, and so what you have to realize though with Unreal, with Unity, with any of these engines, they don't come with stock artwork. So this is stuff that you're either going to have to buy your own artwork, or you're going to be an artist and you're going to be designing your own artwork. Otherwise, like as far as they're gonna have default things like grass and moss and stone and stuff like that, but they're not gonna have like enemies or bots or robots or any of these other things that you might want to put in there. Similarly, they're going to have a very self-contained AI that's basic, but you may have to get different AI. Now, the stores, both Unity and Unreal, have stores where you can buy artwork, you can buy scripts, you can buy blueprints that people have designed. So you don't even have to go in and design your own blueprint, where it could be 50 different things in a blueprint that get you the ability to have a Call of Duty assault game type thing. Well, at that point, now you don't have to set up that blueprint. It's already there for you, but you have to purchase the use of it. And so that's kind of where I'm going to leave this. Each engine is going to have its own value, and based on how you want to go about it, what you're trying to design, and what your comfort level is going to tell you what engine you want to get. Always do your research, because engines are always changing. For instance, Unity does have a blueprint mode, but you have to buy it separately. It's in their store. It's not part of their system. So that may change in the future. So you always want to do your research on whatever engine that you're looking at doing before you actually dive into it, because you will be using this engine for a good at least year, if not more. It might be up to 3-4 years. A lot of companies and an individual, depending on how fast you can work, you're going to be designing for quite some time. So that's it for this video, and if you like, please like and subscribe. Follow me. I've got my website, which has all of our social media, so you can just jump into any of those. And follow me on Twitch as well. We are going to be doing Let's Plays on that. So have a good day.